Class is in session, hitting the books. MLB show for Friday, May the 9th. Ian Cameron and Connor Mack with you, ready to break down another MLB betting card. A big Friday slate as always, because there's usually all-night games on a Friday other than maybe a Wrigley home game. So we got all teams in action tonight. We'll dive right in. We'll begin with Atlanta and Pittsburgh. We've got Bryce Elder for the Braves and Bailey Falter, the lefty, for the Pirates. Atlanta minus 150 road favorites. 9 the total, shaded to the under here in this game. Of course, this is a brand new manager now for Pittsburgh. They fired Derek Shelton after 5 seasons as manager of the Pirates. I think, just for a change, a new voice. I don't think it's his fault. He's just caught up in an organization that just has been pretty bad for a very long time. We'll see if this gives them a little spark. I mean, I don't look at the coaching change or the manager change in baseball providing the spark maybe that, coaching change in football or basketball or hockey, often gives to the team. It's still so much revolves around, is your lineup hitting? Is your bullpen any good? And is your starting pitcher any good? And on all counts right now for the Pittsburgh Pirates, I don't think the lineup's very good. I don't love their bullpen, and I certainly don't trust Bailey Falter. That is for sure for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I'm not ready to jump on the Pittsburgh bandwagon that they fired the manager and now they're going to start winning. I've got to see it before I believe it. That being said, I'm not laying $150 on the road with Atlanta and Bryce Elder either. Maybe this game can go over. Maybe the bats get a wake-up call from this, because I sure as hell don't trust either pitcher. So I'd probably lean to the over here with these two teams. But 9 does feel a bit high, especially with Pittsburgh. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, fuck. This is a Pittsburgh Pirate head job. I mean, does anybody want that? Yeah, I don't know. Seems like a headache. Fuck. It's like, well, any of these guys, most of them, if we were a Pirate, they would get another job too, somewhere else, because Pirates are so bad. Yeah, and other things like in hockey, NHL, it's like some of those moves, they work and, they win right away. Things change, but I don't know how big really it is in baseball. One thing with the Braves, they haven't hit lefties too much all year. I think they're 27th to 28th. The average has been super low. I kind of think, Pirates have played them well, though. I just don't know if the price is that great here. Falter, too, if I'm going to back him at home, I don't love it. I was leaning Pirates here, but I just I can't back them. 12 and 26. I can't do it. I do like Ozuna here. 5 for 10. He's got 3 doubles, so his RBI is plus 170, and the Jack plus 425. He's been good when I took him. Same thing with Riley. I didn't take Riley the other day on Sunday, and he had 2 bombs in the Dodger game. I had Ozuna. It didn't work out, but I like the number here with him. We're lefty.
All right, next up, we got Texas Rangers and Detroit Tigers, Patrick Corbin and Tariq Skubal. We got a lefties battle in this one. Detroit minus 300. Huge price here as home favorites, 7.5. It's going to be a pass for me. I didn't make a bet on this game. Look, I'm going to give Corbin some respect. He's pitched pretty solid, actually, believe it or not. It's hard to believe, but he has been really solid for the Rangers this year. We'll see if that continues. Detroit was hitting the ball pretty well against Colorado. We'll see if they can keep the bats going. I certainly trust Skubal. We know we don't like this Texas lineup. They've had a rough season at the plate. They got shut out yesterday by Boston, 5-0. They just fired their hitting coach, and, first game with the new hitting coach, and they get shut out. So funny to see that with Texas last night. But maybe a lean to the under possibly. But, yeah, it's a pass for me here. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, the price is just getting too big here. Texas team total under a little bit. I've tried to grab some of those when I can. Can they get to school? I don't know. This is kind of a flat spot, even though they beat up on the Rockies, which right now isn't like everyone does until they can get going. So I don't know if it's that big a deal. So
against Colorado's got to be one of the best mechanical bets going in baseball. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean seems like they give up 7 or more every single game. So, yeah, team total under for the Rangers, because it's just hard to find a price with Skubal being this huge. And this is good. A lot of pitchers, with that doubleheader, the bullpen, if he goes 7 strong here, which I think he can, will be money.
St. Louis, Washington, we've got Eric Fetty and Mitchell Parker, the pitching matchup here in this one. Pretty much even money is what we're looking at with the price here, -110 both sides, 8.5 the total here in this game. Fetty's been kind of going backward the last couple starts. He's given up 10 runs in his last 10.2 innings. So not liking what I'm seeing, not liking the trends here for Eric Fetty, trending downward. I could say the same about Mitchell Parker. He's given up 12 runs in his last 9 innings entering this start. We'll see how both of these lineups fare. The Cardinals against lefties, we'll have to see, but this is a struggling lefty. The Nationals, actually, in their last 10 games, are averaging almost 5 runs per game against right-handed pitching. So their lineups kind of picked it up a little bit of late. So I think I could make a case for over 8.5 here. Nothing on the side. I don't really trust either pitcher, but over 8.5 is probably the way I would bet this game. C-Mac, any thoughts here? Cards, Nats.
Yeah, I want to look at it here. Fetty, I had just his last couple starts on the road. I know he hasn't been great, which, we talk about these guys all the time. It seems like these
used to be
pitchers,
with
of
the
course,
Nationals too, facing his old team
throughout the year. Yeah, facing his old team. And this one seems like he could pitch all right, but I don't trust him. He's off a couple bad ones. That Milwaukee game, that's what I was really looking at. Last 2 home starts. So what do we get? The good Fetty, on the road, or the bad one? So basically, he's been like a 4 or 5 or higher most of his career on the road. I kind of like the Nats here, where I take them too. I really don't want their bullpen, would be first 5. So I lean their way. This was one of the kind of leans I had bet. 2 guys don't strike out a lot and in pitchers, and kind of walk a lot. They're pretty even on their walk to strikeout ratio.
All right, we got Milwaukee and Tampa Bay. Jose Quintana, Zach Littell on the mound here. We've got the Brewers -120, road favorites, 9.5 the total in this game. I took Milwaukee here. It's a small road favorite price. I'm totally okay with it. I think Tampa's a mess right now. Most games they don't hit, and their starting pitching is kind of fallen off. Guys like Boz and and a couple of their other pitchers not pitching like they did early.
Pepio.
Yeah, exactly. Pepio, same thing. And their bullpen's falling off. They can't hit. And then they finally get some runs last night early against the Phillies, and then the bullpen falls apart all over again, and they lose that game against the Phillies. It's just a tough team to back right now. I think it's cheap with Milwaukee and Quintana. I think Quintana can not mow down this lineup, but I trust him. He's got a 2.89 ERA. He's had a pretty good season. He did have a bad start last time against the Cubs, but there's no comparison. Cubs lineup, which has been great most of the season, to this Rays lineup, there's no comparison. I think Quintana can bounce back here in this game, pitch well. I like Milwaukee here, small road favorite to get it done. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, that was my lead in this game. I kind of Brewers or nothing. Just it seems like nothing goes right. Like it's actually because this year it was good for them to get on the road. They hit a little bit better. They're not crazy. When they kind of went even out west. The Rays versus the Padres and Angels. But back here in this ballpark, just, they haven't been very good at all. And everything is just gone. The starting pitching I thought would be better. It's got to suck, too, if these guys pitching in that ballpark. And you know what I mean? Some of the pitchers, I'm sure, they're not happy. So, yeah, I kind of like the Brewers here, even the Brewers team total in this game. Quintana's been good. Other than Diaz, Caminero, of course, is young. But, there's nothing that's like it's a lefty. I always like him, but there's just, I don't know. Nothing that I really love here. They could get to Quintana.
All right, next up, we got the Cubs and the Mets. We got Clay Holmes on the mound for the Mets, Jamison Tyone for the Cubs. Mets -145, home favorites, 8 the total. I actually laid it with the Mets. Small bet because the price isn't great, but Holmes at home is usually pretty good. I find a lot of these Mets pitchers, they pitched pretty well at Citi Field this year. Holmes, again, has had more good than bad here at home. Tyone, I don't fully trust him at the moment. And how can you argue with the Mets' home record? They have played phenomenal here at Citi Field all season. 13-3, the home record here for the New York Mets this season. So I laid it with the Metropolitans here. I think Holmes will pitch well, and I trust him a little bit more than Tyone. Lean to the under, actually, because I could see this one being a little bit lower scoring. I think Holmes will pitch well against the Cubs. It's a question of Tyone against the Mets, and the Mets are capable lineup. but Tyone's been good. He's given up 2 runs or less in 3 straight starts. So this could be a lower scoring game. C-Mac, what do you think about this one here? Cubs and Mets.
Yeah, I stayed off the total. I think kind of could go either way. It's tough a little bit under these pitchers have been pretty good, but these lineups have been great. Cubs score a bunch of runs and over team, and the Mets, the bats have kind of come alive in this run that they've had. They go there, beat Arizona.
Now here's Soto coming to life finally. Yep.
Yeah, hit a few jacks there, have the day off. I don't really love the price here. I know Holmes is at home, but I don't really trust him. I think he's more of basically a 4 ERA, not a 4-1, 2.9 type guy. Tyon, he's been good. He's solid. He's not going to blow you away. He's got a solid changeup and curve. But Cubs, I like them here at this plus price, plus 120. I think first 5. I'll grab them here.
All right, Cubs early, +5, plus money here for the first 5 innings. All right, we move along now. Next up on this Friday slate, we have, let me just see here. Okay, we got the Phillies and the Guardians. Nola and Nola. Aaron Nola for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Nola.
I know, I love doing that. Never gets old. Gavin Williams for the Cleveland Guardians. Philadelphia -120 road favorites, 8 the total. I'm just riding the wave here. Give me the Phillies team total over 3.5 actually this time. Mostly it's been 4.5 lately. This team is just crushing the ball. I think they're on a streak of 6 runs or 5 runs or more in like 5 straight games. But this Phillies lineup, we know when they can get in a zone, this could be as good a lineup as anybody. When Harper and Schwarber and Trey Turner and all these guys get going all at once. They can be Castellanos. You go on down the list. When they all get it rolling all at once, they're dangerous, and they are feeling it right now. This is an extended hot streak as a team, top to bottom right now for this Phillies offense. And I don't trust Gavin Williams. He was all over the map against Toronto. He was fortunate he didn't do worse than he did, but he was getting out of trouble and jams the whole friggin' start the last time we saw him against Toronto. So I think Philly team total, I'm riding it again over 3.5 here in this game. Keep the hot bats going. But I do think Cleveland can score runs, too, against Nola. Nola's road ERA continues to be rough. He has not pitched well. He hasn't pitched great all year, but at least at home he's had a couple of decent starts. He's really had a tough time on the road. So I do think Cleveland can score some runs, too. So not only am I on the Phillies team total over 3.5, I like this full game over 7.5 here as well. I think we go over the total. C-Mac, Phillies, Guardians.
Yeah, I like the over. 2 in this game. I think they can get to Nola, back-to-back starts where he's looked a little bit better. And both of those were at home, I think, right? With Nola? Or yeah, it was a split. Yeah, okay, Cubs and then at home. D-backs. But both starts look pretty good. But I don't trust him on home.
Not yet.
I think it's just kind of a tough spot for the Phillies, scoring a bunch of runs. I don't blame you. And they get by and win again. Yesterday, I could see why someone thought the Rays, and then they blow it. We already kind of talked about that. I think Williams could give me 5 and give a few. So not on the over, but I like the Guardians here. I think it's a good spot for them.
All right, Guardians to get it done here at the plus money here for C-Mac. All right, next up as we continue along, we've got. Do we have any more 7:10? No, we go to 7:40 Eastern time next for this one. Boston, Kansas City, Dobbins and Lorenzen. Even money, -110, 9 the total. Pass for me. I don't want to back either team. I don't want to back either pitcher. They're inconsistent. They're up and down. All of these two teams, these two lineups, and really these two pitchers. And yet I don't want to bet it. Do I really want to bet an over 9 with Kansas City? Like an over at 9 with this team? I
mean, the bats woke up in the last inning yesterday, right?
They did.
He scored, but can you trust that?
No, I don't. Few and far between it's been for that lineup. I mean, 10 runs yesterday, but they've been an under machine other than that. 7-3 to the under. They were 7-2 to the under before yesterday's 10-run outburst against the pathetic Chicago White Sox. So I'd like to actually bet an over with these two pitchers, but 9 is not the right number. I don't trust a 9 over the total with Kansas City. Simple as that. C-Mac, what do you think here? Red Sox, Royals.
Yeah, when I was looking at this game, I'm like, God, do I want to bet this? Because I think there could be runs as well. Like Lorenzen, it seems like he's going to give up a few. and the Royals just haven't been consistent with their bats. Like they've gotten these wins, against some bad teams too. I'd like to look. One thing I forgot to look at was their schedule. Strength of schedule was the Royals. Seems like they play a lot of bad teams for being 23-16. I don't know the way they've been hitting. They should feel happy right now.
They played the Rays, the Orioles, and the White Sox in the last 3 series. Okay, the Rays stink. The Orioles have been the biggest disappointment this year. And the White Sox. You're right. I think you probably have to take Boston just based on Kansas City is stepping up and punching up in weight class a little bit here.
Yeah, it's just Dobbins. Maybe he can shut down the Royals because to me this was a lean a little bit to Red Sox team total or them first 5 in this game. Look at Bregman's been great. I didn't have him the other day. I wrote him down. Same thing with Bellinger. They both go deep. What was that on Wednesday? And I'm like, God, the 2 guys that I didn't go with that were right on the list, but hit homers. So he's been red hot. It's worked out so far. So yeah, I'd look at the Red Sox or nothing.
Everyone's always just waxed poetic and raved about how good the AL East has been all these years. And other than the Yankees, it's a fucking mess, the AL East.
Yeah, I don't know if the Yankees are that good. I think they're solid, but, are they really going to change defensively? I mean, we saw it during the year in the postseason that kind of got to them. They need to shore that up a little bit.
They do. There's still holes with them. And then the rest of them, they're just up and down like fucking yo-yos, schizophrenic. Red Sox, Blue Jays, Rays, and then the Orioles. They're not even worth discussing, the Orioles. I
don't know what's happened to them. Yeah, that's been crazy.
How the hell have they not fired Brandon Hyde yet? I think they got to get a manager.
I think they're waiting.
Fire the manager, but I think something's got to happen to shake things up.
I think we're going to try to give him to the break. Just with all this talent that they have, everything's going. The pitching's been awful, but what they've done the last few years. But how long is the leash going to be? With them.
It's a great point, Steven. There's no great team in the American League right now. Who is really a fucking phenomenal team in the American League right now? I don't know if you can find one.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay. C-Mac will be back in a minute. We'll move on to the next game. Miami, Chicago White Sox. Marlins minus 145, road favorites, 8 the total. The White Sox are not good at all when Miami's laying minus 145 on the road. Miami's actually not much better, and they're only 4-10 on the road. Myers kind of gone back downhill. He was pitching well, but he's given up 10 runs, 15 hits in his last 9 innings. 3 straight starts have gone over the total. 4 straight starts for Bryce Wilson have gone over the total, going back to last year, that is, including both starts. That I like over 8. I'm keeping it simple. I don't trust Meyer in his current form. I don't trust Bryce Wilson. I think we see runs in this game. The total's reasonable. I think the weather's not too bad at the old, it used to be Comiskey Park, dating myself now with that reference, but it's not even Cellular Field. What the fuck is it now? It's Rate Field in Chicago. So yeah, that's how far back I go. Comiskey Park, U.S. Cellular Field, the Cell they called it. Now it's just Rate Field in Chicago. Over 8 for me with the Marlins and the White Sox. All right, let's move along here. Next up, we've got, as we continue along, there we go, Cincinnati and Houston. Martinez and Hunter Brown, who is absolutely in the hunt for the Cy Young, at least as of now, with the way he's pitched. Hunter Brown minus 190, home favorites, 7.5 the total. I'm on the Astros first 5 run line, -0.5, minus 115, and the -1 full game run line for the Astros. I think they get it done here. I mean, you can't argue at all with what Hunter Brown's done. He's been excellent so far this year for the Stros. There's a Reds lineup that's not that great. Last night, and even the one game against Atlanta that they won, they got 4 runs, but that's been the watermark for them lately, scoring 4 runs. It's been a while since they've scored more than 4 runs in a game, the Cincinnati Reds. And now they got to face one of the best pitchers in baseball this season, Hunter Brown. Not going to be easy, so give me the Astros here. First 5, full game, run line, split. C-Mac is back. C-Mac, what do you think here, Reds, Astros?
When I was looking at this game, I'm like the under, or even the Reds team total under.
Reds team total under, I feel safer. Martinez is a little, He could give up 2 runs, or he could give up 6, with him. You never know.
He's changed a lot of things, but I still know who this guy is. And that's on the flip side. I like the Astros team total. Like, you could get the 3.5 way or make a 4, but like the 4.5. I'm sure I was talking about trying not to do a ton of really the 5.5. You know, I've actually done well this year. I try to pick my spots with the 5.5 team total, but it's plus 115. Like, I think after a few good starts, they get to Martinez. It's just this lineup.
Yeah.
For the Astros just hasn't really done it all year. It seems like a guy they could get. Walker has good numbers. Altuve's numbers are all right. So, yeah, I like the Astros here. Reds team total under, Astros team total over.
All right, good stuff. Oh, yeah, just going back to the game we talked about when you were away for a second there. I like the over here, Marlins and White Sox. Anything there that you like?
Yeah, Marlins just team that goes over. Shout out to the chat. Zoe, my man. It's great to see you in here. Appreciate it. The Dodger hat. Nick, Old E, Timothy, everyone here. Daniel, Sean Smith. Shout out to you guys. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. That's all we asked for. Thanks. Yeah, this was a pass for me. I think this is a Marlins spot, but like the price is getting out there, and they have the better pitcher. So I was off this game. You know, it'd be Marlins or nothing. I don't know much. Marlins on the road, laying a half run type I want to be doing. A ton of. Yeah. So I just, on a Friday night, big card, I got to let it go.
Both starters, their starts have trended over lately, so that's why I like. And the total's only 8, so I thought, yeah, the over's worth a shot there. Giants Twins, we got Hicks and Paddock on the mound here. Giants minus 115, road favorites 7.5. This could get over the total too. Hicks has been a kind of erratic this season. Paddock, I don't fully trust him. I think this goes over, or it's got a good chance to at 7.5, reasonable total. Twins are starting to hit now. I know it was Baltimore and pretty bad team, but at least the Twins lineup is starting to put some good swings on the baseball again. I think the Giants might be the right side too. Here as a slight road favorite. I think the Giants might be the team that can get it done here as well. So Giants and over for me. C-Mac, what do you think?
Twins finally winning a few, some baseball games. I don't love this team, and especially Paddock on the mound. I think Hicks is better than his ERA. He's better than what it is on the road. Yep. I just don't think he's like over a 6 type guy. So I think he could pitch well. I want to double check these two bullpens real quick, because I like the Giants' first 5, but they have such a good bullpen. I think maybe full game is the way to go. I just didn't know how bad lately the Twins' bullpen has been. They've been pretty good all year. They're about, 9th overall, 3.42 ERA.
A little better lately.
They haven't been awful. Yeah. So I was looking. I haven't bet this one yet, but it's kind of the Giants for me. Just didn't know. I want to go first 5 full game here.
All right, Giants for a C-Mac here in this one. All right, we move along now. Next up on the slate here, I think we're moving into the late games or the later games now. Yeah, we got San Diego taking on Colorado. Velasquez. I can't believe it. I almost fainted when I saw this fucking name again. This motherfucking name again. Velasquez here. Unbelievable. How this guy just keeps on mowing along here, one team to the next. And now, of course, we've got Senzatella here on the mound for the Colorado Rockies. Padres minus 180, road favorites, 11.5 the total. You're not going to tell. I'm not going to tell anyone don't bet an over here. Rockies, could be able to do some damage here against Velasquez, and I don't trust Senzatella. And I think there's a chance this Padres lineup could be able to have their share of success. The games in the Detroit series were flying over for the Rockies here at Coors. So, yeah, over or pass. High number, but it's over or pass for me at 11. C-Mac, what do you think here, Padres Rockies?
Man, this is tough. And we keep talking about it because it's true. The Rockies just are not doing anything. And they're not doing anything at home. Usually in a rivalry like this, they played the Padres tough. Even how bad they've been last year. They've been this awful. So it's tough. I mean, and the line, I think, kind of shows it a little bit. But they just played the doubleheader, did nothing yesterday. What was it? 8-2 or 9, and then 10-2, 11-1?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not a big enough price. Like, it just seems so easier bet the Padres. It's just like, when can they start getting – maybe they can get to a guy like here with Velasquez. So, just off me. I try, lately, it's with the Tigers. It was just them or nothing. Maybe just the Padres team total is the way to go because they just keep scashing the road teams even in Colorado.
Yeah, that could be the way to go, but no, you're right. By the way, they've screwed up here. I was like, no, I got to be imagining things. It's Randy Vasquez pitching for San Diego. I said Vince
Yeah, Randy
Velasquez.
Vasquez.
We've got Vince
Oh, you did?
Velasquez on the fucking
I
odd
didn't hear
seed.
you. I thought you said okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, no, this got to be some kind of sick joke or something that I'm seeing this guy still pitching. No, it's Randy Vasquez. They screwed up. It's the odd screen that's confusing. That's what I thought. It's like Randy Vasquez. Yeah, there we go. I still don't trust him, but he's. I still think, it goes over the total in my opinion here. A good chance it does. All right, we move along now to now we got the later starts. We've got the Baltimore Orioles taking on the LA Angels. Sugano and Hendricks. Orioles minus 140 road favorites, 9.5 the total. I have to take the Angels. I just have to take them. Baltimore minus 140 is a flipping joke that they're favored minus 140 on the road, really against anybody. That's how bad things are for the Baltimore. It's not like Sugano's great. It's a finesse pitcher. The Angels are starting to hit a little bit. You know, they had a good series at the plate even without Trout against the Blue Jays. They played better in that series. I'll take a shot with the Angels, home dogs. The Kyle Hendricks is, at home. I think he can pitch a little bit better. It's not like Baltimore's lineup can be trusted. They're trying to make changes. This lineup is changes every day in it, trying to find some fucking combination that works for this Baltimore lineup. So you cannot, or at least I cannot, lay any price on the road with Baltimore. I don't give a shit who they're playing. So give me the Angels here, home dogs, plus 120. Lean over at 9.5 too. C-Mac, what do you think? Both bullpens suck, so it could go over late, even if the runs are slow to come by early.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Cronenworth is back in. I think he's in the lineup here.
Get in the Crone zone, as Donald said.
The Crone zone, I know. When he says that, I always feel
the
Crone zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Crone zone. But he's got good numbers off Senzatella. So does Machado. Of course, Merrill's back. Already looked great. Hit a homer the other day off Max Fried. If these pitchers are bad, but it's the O's, will their bats come? Both these pitchers could get hit hard. Like Sagana, he's 3-2, but the ERA, you should feel glad it's that. This is a fly ball pitcher that gives up home runs. And Kyle Hendricks, I know he's back at home, second start. I don't know. At his age, can he go out? I thought he pitched well that last start. I think did he give up one or nothing in that?
It was better. I had pulled up. A really good start.
I think he gave up 7 innings. Hold on.
His overall ERA is
7 2/3.
Last start, 1 run and 7.2 innings against Detroit. Yep.
Yeah, of course, just 3 Ks. And his bad starts is when a guy like that, he can't strike anybody, walks people. And they start where, he had 5. It's just, if the O's score runs, this goes over. They just can't do it. This team just cannot get anything really going at all. Nothing is right now. We were talking about it earlier. Starting pitching, the bullpen, the bat circle, just everything is, not good for the O's.
Not good, and it's not good to lay a price with them on the road. That's why I'm on the Angels here in this one as well. All right, we move to Dodgers Diamondbacks. Roki Sasaki for the Dodgers, Eduardo Rodriguez for the D-backs. D-backs minus 120, home favorites. 10 the total in this game. We like to trust, and now Yamamoto did give up a grand slam last night. Not his best start, but he had been lights out before that. Sasaki's the one I don't trust. Sasaki's been a little bit more hit or miss so far this season for the Dodgers. I don't trust Eduardo Erod very much for Arizona, so this is another one where I could lean over the total. It's a high total, though. They did a pretty good job putting it at 10, but I think it could still get over the number. I would lean that way. Nothing on the side for me. I'd probably lean Diamondbacks, but I don't want to take Erod against this lineup. But I don't want to take Sasaki. I don't think Sasaki's great. So over or pass. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, it was a pretty good move with the D-backs yesterday. I thought, now favorites at this number. I don't trust Rodriguez enough. I think that's why we have this total. And, it hurts. Teoscar being out is not, now Will Smith in the 3-hole. But he's solid against the lefty like this. But Freddie Freeman running red hot in the 4-hole actually today. How can you not? And he's 6 for 12 with a homer off Rodriguez. So I'll be on his jack. And then, of course, with the lefty, another guy, good numbers, Kike Hernandez. I think look to him. When do you play him? Only against lefties. And his average finally getting up there because all he was doing was hitting home runs and only hitting $120. But he'll get going. It's just the bottom of the order. Conforto, Rojas, Taylor right now. They're just out Like they're just automatic outs. They got to try to do something. Like Chris Taylor in years past, this guy against the lefty like Rodriguez,
yeah,
and I think
clutch hit when you least expect.
Oh yeah,
no,
yeah, and his numbers are like 4 for 7. I mean, he's just it's tough. I'm surprised that he was still on the team, but yeah, I think there's runs in this game, so look for props as well. That's what I'll be on. Same thing with the D-backs. I got to kind of dig into theirs a little bit too.
Blue Jays and Mariners, Kevin Gausman and Luis Castillo on the mound here. Seattle minus 140, home favorites, 7 the total. I'm telling you what, I'm doing this from now on, C-Mac, because this Seattle team, for me, the last 2 to 3 weeks, just an absolute juggernaut for overs. Like, it's unbelievable with these Seattle games over the total. I don't even care anymore who's on the mound. They're going to put out 7 with a total on a Seattle game. I'm betting it over. Simple as that. I don't care if it's Gausman. I don't care if it's Castillo. I couldn't give a shit. 7 is too low of a total for Seattle. They're hitting the ball like crazy. Their pitching's okay, not great. The Blue Jays bullpen has completely melted down here the last several games. They've been giving up runs galore. They've given up 5 runs or more in 5 straight games, the Blue Jays. 5 straight overs for them coming into this game. 7's too low, man. Just too low for a Seattle game. Hell, it's too low for a Toronto game right now. 5 straight overs for them. Over at the total. Nothing on the side. I think the total's the best bet you could make in this game. C-Mac, what do you think?
I agree. Like, I don't think these guys are aces at all. You know what I mean? These 2 pitchers, are they decent? Castillo and Goss, but you know, at times the Jays lineup, you see it against the Angels, but they finally got some runs to blow that game, and then they got a bunch yesterday. I kind of agree with you that this is just too low. Gausman had a bad start, right? His last one.
He was really good last time against Cleveland.
Oh, it was the starting before that. Yeah, the Yankees he got.
That's where he got hit. Yeah.
Yeah, where he got hit. We see he's got great stuff when he's on. It's just kind of when he's off, he can get.
Castillo struggled with the Blue Jays in Toronto in April. 3 runs,
I see that.
10 hits in 5 innings. He didn't pitch great. So I just think it's too low.
I kind of think so too. I don't know. I wouldn't take the Mariners at this price.
At the worst case scenario, if it gets to 3-3.
And none of their games, like the past couple of years too, looking that up earlier, I don't know, 7 or 8 of those would have went over the 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there was only a few, 4-1 type game, 3-2. They were all going over. So I kind of agree that this is just too low. And if I had to, I'd take the Blue Jays. It's just tough to trust the bats from day in and day out right now.
True. They can go cold, but they did start swinging against the Angels, and they did have success against Luis Castillo in Toronto last month. So it gives me faith they can hit. And they have gotten actually at least 4 runs or more in 3 of the last 4 games. So signs that the offense is starting to get going again. We don't have to worry about the Mariners lineup. Man, they've been just raking now for, 2 weeks just straight. Just really impressive from the Mariners offense, no doubt. All right, our last game now of this Friday card, it is the New York Yankees and the Athletics using their temporary home in Sacramento. Yankees minus 145, road favorites. 11 the total here in Sacramento. They're finally making the adjustment. It took a while, but I remember feasting on the 8, 8.5, 9.
We get an 8?
Yeah. I mean, I want to bet over. I don't trust these 2 pitchers. Will Warren is not trustworthy at all, in my opinion, for the Yankees. I'm not a big Bido's been all right, Osvaldo Bido. I will say that, but I think there's some warning signs that there's negative regression coming for Osvaldo Bido. That's what concerns me. I mean, I want to bet over, but man, 11 is pretty high. They've made a pretty good adjustment here. I think I might take a shot with the A's, though. I'm not ready to lay minus 145 with Will Warren as a road chalk. Come on, Will Warren as road chalk minus 145. The one thing about the A's is they played pretty spunky in this ballpark. The A's, they played hard. They played. I know 7-11, but they've played some tough. They've had tough losses here. They were competitive with Seattle in that series. They had a 1-run loss there in that last home series. I think they could be a little bit live here as a home underdog. C-Mac, what do you think here? Yanks, A's.
Yeah, I took them here. First 5. Remember what it is, plus 120, I think? Or no, plus 115. First 5. I don't mind. The bullpen isn't great. And, of course, they get to the 9th, of course, with Miller. And he's gotten hit. It's basically like you hit a jack off him or, he's going to strike you out.
Yeah.
Throwing 101. But 2 pitchers, too, that walk. Guys, so with these lineups, there's ducks on the pond out there. I mean, Wilson's been really good. I mean, Rooker, I like this A's team. They do, and they're at home. They've been playing some good baseball. So, and I think Will Warren, he struggled. He's another guy, just walks too many, doesn't strike out enough, and struggles versus lefties as well. So, yeah, A's here first 5. That's 150.
All right, there you have it. That's the Friday MLB card. Anything Jack of the Day worthy, C-Mac, for tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to look at the A's. I didn't attempt. The 2 I had that I brought was Ozuna, the plus 450, and then Freddie Freeman, of course, plus 500.
Yeah, those are good targets. I would agree with that for sure.
I might be on an A's guy here. I want to look at the prices.
Max Kepler. Max Kepler hits a lot of the pitches Nola likes. So keep that in mind. Or not Nola, I should say, that Gavin Williams likes for Cleveland. And Max Kepler for the Phillies. You're getting a pretty good price on him tonight, plus 650 to go yards. So Max Kepler. And Max Kepler homered, I think, a couple games ago, if I'm not mistaken. So I like that, that look here for tonight for a Jack of the Day. There are a couple others, too, as far as some of the other games. I think Yankees-A's, the ball could be flying a bit there. Wind blowing out tonight in that ballpark. Brent Rooker, Soderstrom, we've talked about him. I think Ben Rice, too. Ben Rice really hits pitches that Bido likes quite a bit. So
Right.
Ben Rice for the Yankees might be someone to keep an eye on. That's a game that could have some home runs to it as well. So there's a few for Jack of the Day that I think are worth tossing a few bucks on. Speaking of tossing a few bucks on something, best bets, they're worth tossing a few bucks on. C-Mac, what do you think here? Friday, best bet.
Yeah, I was looking at these guys' homers. Okay, yeah, best bet. We talked about how I like kind of the Reds team total under. Let's get the plus money here, though. Astros, team I'm not crazy about. I think this is a great spot for them. Finally, Martinez pitching well, but I think it's a bad spot for him on the road. Come on, Astros. Team total over 4.5 plus 115.
All right, Astros to go over 4.5, and I'm on the Astros too, but I went first 5 and full game run line on the Astros tonight with Hunter Brown. Best bet for me on this Friday slate. Actually, there's a lot of good choices out there when I look. I'm going to go with that over 7 with Jays and Mariners. Like I said, this Seattle team, it's just the overs have been lying in my pocket, lying in my sports book accounts for weeks now for these Seattle games. And I don't care. They're 2 solid pitchers, Castillo and Gausman. 7 is too low right now for what we're seeing from the Mariners offense. Not to mention the Jays lineup has come to life, and their bullpen has just been pathetic the last few games. And 5 straight Blue Jays games have gone over the total. So Jays Mariners over 7. Let's go with that one in the late night hours for best bet for this Friday MLB slate. There you have it. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We appreciate it. Hit the like button. Oldie, Nick Alvento, Zoe, Spoons Bets, Tone Megans, Jorge Herrera, Steven Jackson, Dantrell Frazier, Gundam Atticus. We appreciate Gerald Jones, Daniel,
Gundam Atticus.
Sean
All
Smith.
right.
I know. I love
I like
that name. Good stuff. That's a wrap for the week. We'll be back on Monday at same time for another edition of the show and a brand new week. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we are back Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for another edition of the MLB Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Cheers.